Hello, my name is Dr. Chester Wilson, and I am the CEO of Outreach Community Care Network and CW Consulting Firm. We'll stick with the one. Back home, I'm known as Junior. Well, I knew back in high school when I was a part of Future Business Leaders of America that I ultimately wanted to start a business. In fact, when I first enrolled in college, my degree was business administration. That kept eating at me. And in 2014, I took the launch and I opened my first business. Through some trials and error, to 2025, I'd like to say I'm a bit successful.
Strive to get on top. Ask me why. Because the bottom is already overcrowded. Do not let your ability take you where your character cannot keep you.
So I'm Jared Thompson. My occupation is video production and film production. Some call me the GOAT. I decided I was ready to start a business when I saved up a lot of money in West Texas working in the oil field. The oil field was crashing and I knew I didn't want to continue working for someone else again. After working in the oil field for 3 years at 19, I knew I was looking for a way out after that. I had a lot of money saved up and I didn't know what to do with it. And I knew that would be the best investment to make would be to start a business. So that's when I knew.
Hello, my name is Oliver Ross. I'm the CEO of Ross Enterprises Daytona Inc. They used to call me Peanut. Well, some people still call me Peanut, so yeah. I actually started business when I was probably like 6 or 7 years old. My mom used to go to the bulk stores and buy the candy, and we used to take the candy to the school and start selling the candy at school. And I was a little kid then, so I always had the entrepreneur spirit since I was a little kid.
Hi, my name is Karen Hankerson, and I'm the manager of Bethune Grill.
And my name is Rosemary Jenkins. I'm the general manager of Bethune Grill.
Miss Karen, Auntie Karen.
And Rose, just Rose.
Well, we didn't start the business. My mom, she started the business 26 years ago in order to keep my brother out of trouble. So from that point, it's been work ever since. It's been very good. You know, you have good days, you have your bad days. Throughout the years, we've seen a lot. My mom, she passed away in 2010, and what my sister and my brother, we're keeping her legacy alive. So it's all work, all work.
We originated the business August of 1997. 5 years we were on the east end of MMB. We've been here for 20 years on the west end of MMB. We started out, my mom retired from Volusia Detention Center. She worked with juveniles, so she was familiar with juveniles all over Volusia County. So she decided, she went out on disability, but she decided that she still wanted to work and maintain a restaurant. She wanted to, this would have been her first restaurant, one and only, but she decided she wanted a restaurant. So she started out and we just basically worked with her and we made Bethune Grill. Yeah, so.
My business was ultimately created to help the community. In my consulting and my training center, it was created to provide personal and professional development to individuals who wanted to grow. And with the Outreach Community Care Network, it provides behavioral health services to individuals who are affected by mental health and substance use.
How does my business affect the community? I honestly couldn't tell you to the extent of how it affects the community. I could tell you how I would like for it to have an impact on the community, and that would be to provide jobs, not just jobs. I don't even want to, don't worry about that. I want to provide hope that people who dream of doing certain things in the arts, in film and acting or anything like that in the camera world, I want to provide them with physical proof that they can do it here in Daytona and they don't have to go, move far away to a more prominent film industry. I want for that dream to be nurtured here in the city so we could, in-house our talent. So that's how I want to impact the community really, is by, just showing, just giving our people a better shot at success without having to leave their mother and their family to go do it.
It's effective in a few ways. Job, employment. I give a lot of opportunity to people that's, how can I say, not so good of a good law background. Because it could have happened to me. I could have messed up and got, without a job. Wouldn't be able to have a job. So I give that a lot of business opportunities, as far as even with the Cookman students. They come here, interns, a lot of them come and they actually get jobs and wind up graduating and become successful people.
Well, we have a lot of positive influence in the community. We always give back. Whenever people hear Bethune Grill, for as insinuating for their students, they ask for wings. We provide wings for them. And it's a great incentive to get a child to do good in school. Jobs, they always ask for Bethune Grill for morale in their departments. So therefore, it's good. We can influence a lot of people.
And well, from the community aspect, we do a lot. People don't realize how much we put back into the community. We basically offer, we do discounts pretty much. We basically help BCU with their foundation, the football foundation. A lot of times we do funerals. Our patrons, they lose a relative, we try to help out and provide them with, wings. And then, like she said, we do a lot of school give backs, in the community. And anybody we can help, we try to help, but 9 times out of 10, it's the patrons. People, they come from leaps and bounds all the way from Central Florida, as far as Jacksonville and places like that. I feel we give back to the community a whole lot just by being here.
Hold that up.
You know what I mean? Just by being here in the community.
Christmas time we give.
We have I started last year, I started a coat drive, giving back to the kids. I started that because I felt that they're in need of jackets and stuff. Toys are okay, they can go here, there, and everywhere to get toys, but coats, I think that's more important.
And that was very successful.
And
that
it was
successful.
First year. That was our first year.
Yeah.
And it was successful.
Very successful.
Yeah.
Yes, by me being out providing consulting and training services to individuals, sometimes giving them away for free, it led to opportunities to be on stages in front of hundreds of people, sometimes thousands. And most notably, I was invited to be a speaker at the second largest school district in the state of Florida, down in Broward County. And unbeknownst to me, when I walked out on stage, there were 3,000 people in the audience looking at me. And that is just by presenting in front of someone who told someone else about me that led to that unexpected exposure.
An experience I had where a community-based event led to an opportunity in my business. This was kind of recent. I was doing a walk, like a march, for an organization that was Guns Down. It was a Guns Down march to, you know, like a walk for peace and less gun usage and homicide. And the goal of the walk, from my understanding, is so people could see the presence of those hurting from gun violence and maybe make them reconsider if they were ever confronted with a situation to where it would come down to, you know, gun violence. The chief of police, Jakari Young, he was also walking, marching with the family, and we shared words in that moment. And he mentioned that, you know, he wanted to do some work together with me. He likes my work, and, you know, we clearly have similar interests as on a community side. And that led to us doing a lot of work with Daytona Beach Police Department, which has been very beneficial for us. So that's one example.
Yes. Years ago, I think we started in 2017 or 2016. Me and my uncle, Michael Jackson, not the Michael Jackson, but his name was Michael Jackson. He's deceased now. We started giving out bikes. And that led to everybody. What it did was it like made everybody want to give bikes. So after a while, got so big where I started giving out bikes. He continued, but I stopped doing it. But it was just like I wouldn't say it was a competition, but it was like it just inspired other people to give. So I guess that's one of the biggest things that started for the community growth. Yeah.
Yes. We are super busy.
I guess it's kind of hard to answer that question, because from day to day, you know, we have so many opportunities to get out there and present the business based on our food trailer. You know, we have so many opportunities to go here, there, and everywhere with this food truck. But that's basically the basis of trying to get out there and, you know, make that revenue based on the food truck. You know what I'm saying? Because we're open to, they want us everywhere pretty much. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say Bike Week, I think this is what you're kind of getting at. We literally had the opportunity to go out. You've heard of the famous Boot Hill Saloon? Yes. Okay. We had a opportunity to go to their, hey Maureen, look. We had an opportunity to go there and set up the food trailer with all the bikers on US 1. They have a Boot Hill there. They didn't have a kitchen set up. So therefore, they wanted us to bring that truck out. And unfortunately, we couldn't because of the, you know, we didn't have the help, the staff. And, you know, that's another story with the staffing part of it. Yeah, so we have a lot of opportunity. It's just trying to get out there to, yeah.
Okay.
And then I can say the Speedway, you know, the International Speedway.
So they started coming to us.
Yeah, so
they'll come and pick up a large order.
They'll pick it up, like 800 wings. We did it for them. NASCAR, we just did it a couple weeks ago for race week. You know. So we're opening up all kind of scopes for any and everybody. It's like, you know, you try a chicken wing, you pass it on, and the business is coming.
I live by this model, and that is be so good at what you do until people can't ignore you. That means that you just get out there and you display the gift that's within your hand. The gift that's within your hand, right? Use it. That's all you have to do. Just be so good that the average person that's walking by you will take note of the talents that you have because you're so good at it, and then they will inquire about your services and ultimately may have to hire you. They may not like you, they might not even like the services that you provide, but because you're good at what you do, it makes them take note of you and call you.
The advice I would give to upcoming entrepreneurs to ensure their success would be to follow the vision that they have, because I'm sure they're not getting started on a journey without, you know, possibly seeing where it could head, where it could end up. So I would say just be ready for a long ride. That's what I would say. If you ain't ready for a long ass ride, your success is gonna be a ripple in the ocean of greats. A small pebble, small ripple. I mean, it's gonna be a small ripple. That success, if you have just be ready for the ride, because it's not, you wanna make sure you're doing something you're having fun with. You wanna make sure it's fulfilling to you, because you know, it's gonna be a lot of sacrifices that you're gonna have to make just to make it to day 3 of your journey, let alone year 8 or year 9. So, you know, you'll be able to start seeing the fruit. I would just say get ready for a long ride, and that there's an incubation period with businesses and development. That means most of the time you're gonna have to be in a waiting process before you reap any fruits from your labor. You're gonna be waiting a long time. Sometimes it takes decades in the incubation period for some businesses. Some takes 2 years, some takes 5, you have to be aware that you will see your successes if you continue to do the work. Aside from the spiritual or aside from the physical aspect of time, you can't beat time. You know, you gotta just be prepared as you can for when the opportunity comes. So in your downtime, be doing a lot of things to sharpen your skills and your knowledge, because when you get a phone call, you want to be eligible. You want to be confident that you're the man for the job, because people can sense that. They can sense if you're the man for the job or not. I've dropped the ball in that area plenty of times, enough to now where when I do have time and I'm not working, no one's booking me, I know that there's still work to be done. Just because you're not physically being paid to do it does not mean there's not work to be done. It's tough because you have to create your own blueprint to your success. It's not like we're calling today to offer you this big job, get your stuff ready. Yeah, that happens, but what about the other 6 days out the week when you don't get that call? You have to create your own vibration of work, of gigs, of success. You got to create your own success. Boom, I just read 10 new things about my industry today. Now I'm more of an expert in my industry now. That's a success. Not, I didn't get called for a job all week, man, my business is failing. That's another way to look at it. You can choose to look at it like that, or you could say, hey, I didn't get called for a job all week, but boy, I'm more of an expert in my field and I learned new skills and new tricks or new things about, I got a lot to cover on this topic, or new things about business. Another thing I would say is I've been a struggling artist, a poor artist. I've been that. And yes, you will create your best work ever. You know, ironically, you will create your best work ever. But to what extent? Like there's such a sacrifice that comes with that. It's almost not worth it. You know, you create your best work ever, but you're angry. You know what I'm saying? You're angry all the time. You're mad at everybody. You're mad at society because you're not a part of it anymore. Because now you decided to go with the art so heavy that, and go with your craft and your purpose and your skill, you choose that over the balance. You need a balance. So take the time to learn about business, the business world, aside from learning about your art form. You have to do both or you're just gonna be a wreck. That's how people end up on the streets. You know what I'm saying? And I almost did. So I know how easy it is for something to trip in your head to make you say, I'm done with society. I just want to be an artist. That's that mental health aspect when it comes down to being an entrepreneur and having such a deep passion for what you do, whether it's cooking. Like I got a friend, Brittany, she cooks, helping hand catering. She might go so deep into her passion for giving that she ends up on the streets because she feels like she's pure and everyone else isn't. No one is as pure as me. I just want to help and cook. Now I'm begging for supplies to make so I could. It's really easy for something to trip in your head and make you go anti-society when you become more and more groomed and passionate about your craft. So that's something to look out for, is having a good balance between, yeah, I'm going to become a great entrepreneur and a successful person that's going to have to sacrifice and walk this lonely road, but you need a balance. You might need to go work at Burger King and get you a few paychecks so you can fund your new venture. Or go work at Waste Pro and go throw some trash so you can fund your balance for your mental. If it ain't for nothing else, have a balance, meaning money. You're gonna need a balance for your mental, or you're gonna crash out before you can become great. That's how I feel. I feel like you will crash out, or just be the guy on the street that got so much talent and you just hoping you go viral someday. I wouldn't, I don't know, me personally, it might work for someone else. But that route was about to eat me alive, and I was able to adapt. Okay, I can't take the easy way out and just be on the street. That's the easy way out, bro. The hard route is working a job you don't want to work and still working on your your business. That's the hard route. It's easy to say, I'm gonna just keep getting better at film. I got a camera. I'm not working on no one's job. That's the easy way. That's the easy way out, bro. But I mean, it will eat you alive too. So it's definitely, a spiritual aspect too. You know, don't get it twisted. It ain't you really doing all of this. You've been put here with a purpose in you. You gotta let that operate. Stop thinking that you're really in control of when things are gonna happen, how they're gonna play out, because God will show you every time that you work for Him. You know what I'm saying? So don't think that you're an entrepreneur and you work for yourself so much that you really work for yourself. You don't. You work for a higher power, and He will show your ass if you get out of line.
Patience. patience, patience, patience. I'm still learning patience, but I'm a little better right now at it. I had to learn that what's for me is for me, and you can't rush it. There's no need to try to rush it because it's gonna come when it's supposed to come. So patience is one of the biggest things to learn. We are in an instant society, microwave society where everything quick, 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 and a lot of times we get impatient, and that's what leads us to doing the wrong things or just being out of character, whatever it may be. But when you practice patience and know that it's going to happen when it's supposed to.
Social media. Do not partake in social media. We're old school, so we don't look at social media. A lot of, the younger generation, they're focused on social media, but we don't, because you don't want to, the comments that people say about your business, this, that, and the other, or, it's all negative. We don't want negative, we want positive in our establishment. And that takes us a long way because we always, we think positive no matter what. So
I can piggyback on what she's saying. Nothing's wrong with social media from a business standpoint if you're trying to put something out there. Positive. But if you're doing social media, basically, I guess a lot of the dislikes and, if there's a problem with your order, if there's a problem with your food, they're going to take the social media and they're going to present it out there. And basically, with us being old school, we don't take that lightly. What we do, we're old school. If something's wrong with your meal, we're going to ask you, bring it back. We'll refund you or we'll make you a new meal.
Yeah,
there's no need to take the social media. That's my main gripe. And my thing is, I'm very sensitive to it. And you have people that literally lose, they just shut down because of it. And they will remove themselves from social media. And we do Google. We do a lot of responses back to Google. And for an up-and-coming entrepreneur standpoint, this is what I'm telling them. What they need to do is they need to make sure that they are financially sound when they start a business. They need to make sure that they have enough money to start the business. They got to look at aspects as to, okay, I pay my monthly bills for my personal use. Am I going to have that money to pay my rent for the business that I'm starting? You have to look at that part of it, the financial part of it, because if you don't, you're going to go under just like that. I mean, if you notice, most restaurants, they don't stay in business long. We all have the idea of opening up a business. We want a business, but you got to have that capital. You got to have the money set aside. You got to know, you can't start out with all the signage and all of that stuff. Just say for an example, you open up a restaurant. You want to start it out with your names on everything. It's not going to take all of that. Start out slow, build up your capital. Absolutely. And then you move forward from there. When you get that money, you can start adding that into your process, but up until, just try to take it slow, and you'll have longevity. We have had longevity. We have not, just for the people out there, my mom didn't believe in loans. She didn't believe in any of that. She stepped out on faith. Here today, I can honestly say, we got a loan for our trailer, and that was it. We haven't had to borrow money from anyone or anybody. It's just, It's all in how you do it. You got to cut costs. You know, you can't go out, you know, hey, I drive a 2006 Ford truck. My other car is I drive another a SUV, a nice Porsche SUV, you know. But my stuff is paid off. I don't have to worry about all of that. But it's just sets. I guess my mom instilled it in us. Don't go into a lot of debt to try to do what you got to do. Count your pennies, put them aside. You know, do what you need to do. You know. And just keep it moving.
Yep.
You know,
That's
we're in a good place. You know, we slowed up a little. We have our slow periods. You know, when the college kids are gone, but the community comes in. You know, they'll come in when they're gone or whatever. But it's just you got to balance it out. And don't try to live like the Joneses. Don't try to do this and don't try to do that. I mean, I can tell you, we've been in business 26 years because of that.
Yep.
So.
The community is the foundation of what it is that we do. Without the community, there would be no us. They are our clients. They are the ones who keep us in business. They're the ones who we're providing the services for. And so I think it's very important that while it is a business, it serves as a business model, that we don't forget that our ultimate goal is to service the community. So regardless of your ability to pay when it comes to our healthcare facility, we're going to treat every individual that walks through the door. So I impress upon my team to make sure that they understand that our fundamental foundation is providing services to the community in which we live.
Okay, so if I see a kid throw a piece of trash out of the window on the ground or walking, just littering, I know at a time when I was at my lowest, when I didn't have any income, no money, I didn't want to work on anyone's job, what felt fulfilling to me was taking care of the earth. So I will walk around and just pick up trash. I didn't need no one to see me. I didn't need no attention. I just needed to feel like I was contributing to the earth. And there's a saying, you take care of it, it'll take care of you. So as I was taking care of the earth, someone stopped and gave me $20. Like, hey, I see what you're doing, man. He didn't care to be acknowledged. He just said, man, go get lunch on me. That's a pure prime example of the earth will take care of you if you take care of it. So as far as engaging with the community and people are great, but the environment, the trees, the grass, that stuff is actually even better to take care of than people. Because, I mean, you still got to have discernment on who you taking care of and who you're helping. So you might be helping somebody that God is trying to teach a lesson. You're never gonna get penalized for helping the earth, taking trash out of the lake, or taking trash up on the ground, you know, or you know, you're not gonna get penalized for that. So the community, I combine that with nature. You know, I feel like you don't want to be handicapping people when they might already have a victim mentality. Be careful about helping that too much. That makes sense. It's good to give back, but you got to be careful with it too. You know, you got to be careful with it. So with my peers, the community really helped me a lot. I would do things from my heart for the community when I felt like, okay, I have a big platform, I need to use it for something good. Like, let me show people what to do with these platforms. Like, let's do something positive, you know, in the wake of something negative. Like, let's show, you know, how we could, you know, make a positive impact. And in turn, what that gave me was unwavering support from a lot of the community. I didn't do it for that reason, but today I'm a product of what I have done for community, or what I have, basically for things I've done for the community. I'm a product right now of those actions. So, I mean, I wouldn't tell them to do it for that reason, because that's just a bad reason to do things, and people are really smart. they know when your heart isn't in something. Like, they're really smart. They know when you're not really doing something for the better. You got some people who might guess it and get you wrong, but for the most part, man, if you could do it without a camera in your face, or, you know, without yelling it to the world, start there. I would discipline myself to do that. You know, it's important to take care of the earth and the people, especially when you've been blessed and you know you're being blessed right now, and you know you're getting this money, and you know things are you're having your way right now. You have to keep the natural flow of things. The blessings don't just all come to you and you hoarder them. It's time to throw a random pizza party for the hood, or for, you know, for the good kids in school. Like, it ain't gotta be for unfortunate financial, circumstantial level. It could be for people who are well off, but I don't know, maybe they would like a free ticket to Disney World or to the racetrack to see the races. We got to stop also thinking that we don't need to do things for people who are financially better off than us. We got to stop thinking like that, because if they're not doing for us already at a lower level, why will we follow that trend? We need to be trying to reverse that by doing the opposite. You do something for somebody who don't need it, they might say, damn, I ain't been giving to nobody like this, but this dude don't got half as much as me and he's giving to me. That might trigger them to do way more for society and mankind right there. So I think it's a lot of forms of giving. And also, my friend Latario Felton taught me this, that there's like an art of giving. There's like different forms of giving. You can give somebody, let's say it's a water. Someone comes into your house and you ask them, hey, you want a water? Y'all want waters? Even if they're thirsty, a lot of times, depending on how comfortable they are with you, they'll say, no, I'm good. Because you're giving to them with a long handle. It's not, you're almost not giving it to me. You're checking to see if you want it or not. You're not giving it to me. When you give somebody something, think about it. Give. There's not an option. There's not like, here, oh, you don't want it. When you give someone something, you might put it in their chest. Like, boom, now they gotta catch it. You ain't picking it up. It's not, you're not taking it back. Oh man, no, you're good. I done took money back when I was younger, when people be like, oh no, I'm good. I'd be like, you sure? And I really thought I was doing something. When you take it back, you officially did nothing. You didn't give shit. You know, so there's an art of giving. When, instead of asking someone, do they want a water? Go grab a bottle of water before you open your mouth and put it in their face and say, here. I guarantee you the chances of them taking the water versus you just asking them with no water extended towards them, that they'll take the water, the chances go up probably 1,000%. So yeah, giving is big, but there's different forms of giving. You want to be a real giver, not a, oh, I asked them if you wanted it. You didn't give it to them. You're an asker. Are you a giver or are you an asker? You don't ask to give. So yeah.
Oh wow. I encourage them not just on the business side, as far as like working and being hospitable, working for me. I teach them by example. I lead by example in a lot of ways. I don't necessarily like sit them down, but sometimes I do sit them down. Sometimes I can talk. It depends on who the employee is. I don't even call them employees. I call them colleagues. Depending on who they are, I can have a long conversation with them. But I teach them more about the integrity, leadership, and just trying to be a beacon of light to not even to other people, but even to the youth. Because the youth, they, believe it or not, they be watching. Because I used to watch a lot of our entrepreneurs here in Daytona when I was a kid. And most of them never knew I was watching them, but I got so much inspiration from them, knowing that they look just like me and they're successful. So I took a little bit out of this book, a little bit out of this book, and I just formed my own story. Yeah. Yes.
Well, honestly, it's a downfall for us. I feel that's a downfall. On my part, I don't get out in the community much.
Because we're always
Because
here.
we're always here.
We're always here working,
trying to
yeah.
maintain our business. We have had situations that occurred around here, and it's like, you gotta be there. You gotta be here. With
Hands-on.
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 In the business. I wish I could get out more in the community. And that's why we feel when they come to us, we do what we can.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We do what we can. But as far as getting out in the community, you know, it's been a while. We did right before, not this time when Trump came into office, but prior to Obama being elected president, we did Rock the Vote, where we brought out our trailer, and we served the community with that. You know, we were able to bring the trailer out, serve the community, and, you know, we ended up doing that for the community. But as far as like events and stuff that they have amongst the community, we really don't get out much for that. They had something at last year we were able to go to at the Scarlet Golden Center. They were having a business function, so we did attend that. We provided the food for it, you know. So those are the couple things, but as far as getting out, we need to branch out a little more, but it's hard only because we're trying to keep the business afloat. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of...
Yeah. Yes, the only remark that I have is that I posted a service public notice in our restaurant. On the bottom it has the cue card for Halifax Hospital Kidney Transplant Center. So what they would do is scan on the cue card, and information would come up where they fill out an application and to see if they are a match for my son. My son is the one that's on the kidney transplant donor list. So he has two boys, ages 5 and 7. He's a good dad to his kids. One of my grandsons, he is autistic, and he loves his dad very much. They both do, but we want my son to be around a little longer, you know, so that he can be there for his kids. So people always use Bethune Grill as a platform with bringing information in. Anytime something going on in the city,
thing.
Anytime something goes on in the city, they bring information. It's like what they call it, a gathering room or whatever they would call that, and they post things. So I thought that was a good idea for me to bring this up as an opportunity to put out about my son. So far, you know, the response has been good and everything, but we would like the public to be aware of, you know, we are seeking. He's in need of a kidney. He is in need of a kidney. He's on the top of the list now, but, you know, the doctors prefer a living donor, you know.
A younger person.
A younger person, yeah, because he's only 30, he'll be 35 this year. So, you know, they're looking for a younger kidney. And
he's the face of Bethune
Grill as well. He's the face of Bethune Grill.
Jakari
He is one
Hines
of the cooks.
is his name.
Yeah, he's one of our cooks. Yeah, so, you know, we got to put this out there. Yeah. My brother, I mean, he is good. He is, you know, very smart and very, you know, he's an influence on the community as well. I mean, he can pull up, and 10 people or more they stop. He always give people positive advice. And that's what you need. You know, he builds them up. He builds people up and everything. And
he basically, I'll reiterate, he basically gives a lot of insight to the guys, that
yeah.
he's been around more or less on how to start a business in a sense. And it has worked for quite a few of his friends.
Yeah.
They have established, you know, their own businesses, you know, they've opened their own bank accounts. You know, he's given them a lot of insight. And people don't see that, they don't realize it, but, you know, we try to, you know, and give them insight from the business aspect of it. So that's what Shannon does a lot of. Yeah, he is one of those guys that's basically going back to childhood. My dad and my mom separated and divorced when he was 13 years old. So the story behind Shannon, he felt that he had to get out there in the streets and help my mom pay for a vehicle that she couldn't afford, you know. So he basically got out in the streets, and when my mom started this restaurant, he was able to graduate high school. You know, he did the unnecessary. He shouldn't have been doing it, but he felt he had to do it to help my mom.
Yeah.
So she decided to establish Bethune Grill so that would take him out off the streets.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it worked. I mean, we're growing from leaps and bounds, and Shannon, he's business savvy. He's doing other things. He basically has us running the restaurant portion. He's, you know, building houses and stuff. He's doing other stuff. But he's a very good person, and I wish he could have been here to do this interview, because he would have probably enlightened you all on other stuff. But it's just, eventually he'll come around. He'll do it, but he's just that kind of a guy. He's doesn't like a lot of attention, just as well as me and my sister. See, that's another thing. You know, I'm kind of shy in a sense, and we kind of shy away from the limelight. You know, we don't like a lot of attention. We just do what we do and keep it moving.
Yeah, keep it moving.
And that's the way I've always been.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's how we are. You know, we don't, how can I say it?
And brag. And we don't.
No, it's not really about that, but we just do what we do.
Yep.
You know, and we keep it
don't
moving.
Think nothing of it.
You know, don't think anything of it. You know, people feel we're famous or whatever.
They always say we're famous.
You know, hey, we're just trying to keep my mom's legacy going.
That's it.
That's basically what it is.
The bottom line.
Yes.
Yep.
And then as far as the marketing materials, like, basically, I feel we're an incubator for the community as far as the marketing materials. You know, they have social media, Facebook, Instagram. They put all of that stuff out there. As far as what's going on in the community, well, Bethune Grill, you can come in there and you can find out as well. You know, there's all kind of information pertaining to what's going on in the community there. So we allow people to bring in their announcements and you know what's going on in the community. And, So that's it in a nutshell.